Good morning, or should I say top of the morning to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. You got your green on? Everybody's Irish in some way today, right? Gotta, I say your life is so crazy busy that you gotta celebrate even the small holidays. Although in my house, St. Patty's Day is pretty big. I'm married to a guy with the last name of Sweeney. So it doesn't get much more Irish than that. And then, of course, my kids are Riley in Ireland. So, yes, the Irish music was going loud bright and early in my house this morning. In fact, my husband Bob and all of his buddies, his Irish buddies from around the country, have this little tradition. My husband's an attorney, and so he went to, when he, in college and then in law school, he met, all these Irish guys. So what happens is the Irish music goes on first thing in the morning, and Bob turns it on, to drive us crazy as early as possible. So at least by 5 a.m., that's what we wake up to on St. Patty's Day. And then the phone starts ringing from the morning until all day long, and it's just all his Irish friends from all over the country just checking in, saying Happy St. Patty's Day. So it's the one time a year that they all kind of connect, and it's a tradition. It's been happening as long as I can remember. Let's see, Bob and I are coming up on 20 years of marriage this year, so yeah, it's kind of nuts at St. Patty's Day. And of course, got to have the corned beef and cabbage in my house. In fact, my mom is also a little bit Irish, so I'm Irish too a little bit, and she always calls me today and says, how's your corned beef doing? Well, my corned beef is doing good. How are you doing yours this year? And I think we always do it the same way, but we still have to compare notes. So sit back, relax. Even if you aren't Irish, we're going to have just a ton of fun today, and we've got some great recipes. We're going to do corned beef a little bit differently than you might do it. A lot of people just, throw it in the slow cooker or boil it. We're going to show you a different way that you may want to do it, just full of a lot of flavor. We're also going to do a pot roast, an Irish pot roast, which I'm really excited about. And we're going to start with a really fun dessert, whether you're Irish or not. If you want to make this for St. Patty's Day or another day, it's a really fun layered grasshopper parfait. Super easy and yummy, too. So sip a coffee, and I better get to work. And no, it's not Irish coffee today. A little early for that. Okie dokie. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start crushing up some Oreos. And I think any recipe that has Oreos in it, I'm all about it. It can't be bad, right? And I have found mint Oreos, which I thought would be perfect for this recipe. Now, if all you can find is the regular Oreos, that's just fine too. But we wanted to add a little bit of a mint flavor, being this is a grasshopper dessert. So if you couldn't find the mint flavored Oreos, what you could do is just do a little bit of peppermint extract into the pudding that we're going to make, and that would give a little bit of the mint flavor. But we found mint Oreos, so I'm all excited about it. We're going to use them. They have a green filling, and I hear that I know we picked these up at Festival, but I hear you can get them. Deb says you can get them everywhere, Amy. So I didn't know that. I thought it was just kind of a seasonal thing. But I guess it's not. So we're just going to crush those up, and that's the way we found to do this, is just with a rolling pin or a meat mallet. Get busy. Fun thing to have the kids help with this one. This kind of reminds me of dirt cups, those. We make those in the summer. Ireland and Riley love those. Even my 17-year-old Riley, I think. This is very similar to that. It's got a little bit more of a minty flavor to it. And it's green for St. Patty's Day, so I'm just going to use my fingers from here on out. There we go. I also have some candies. And you don't need to, I just crushed them up right with the filling. So you don't need to, scrape the mint green filling out. I also have some Andes mints, which I happen to love. This chocolate, these little guys here that are in the green foil wrap, and I'm just going to chop some of those up. So that's also going to give this some mint flavor. And just a rough chop. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to save a couple to garnish the top. You know me. I love dessert. I really do. But I'm not a baker person. It's just not my thing. And so I kind of stick to what I'm good at, which is the casseroles and the soups and all that other kind of stuff. I do make desserts, but most of my desserts, start with a box cake mix that I jazz up, or brownie mix, or I'm a big fan of something that I call, and that are called trifles, which are layered desserts. I love those because they're no bake. So this kind of reminds me of a trifle, but we're going to do little individual kind of trifle or parfait. So individual things of any kind, whether it be little mini pies, sweet pies, or hot pies, or shepherd pies, are very, very big and on trend now at restaurants. So, you know, if you go to out to eat, and certainly a lot of the big cities, you know, you're going to get your own little dish, your own little casserole of amazing macaroni and cheese. And this is what they're doing in a lot of the high-end restaurants. Or your own, you know, lobster pot pie. And in fact, I went to a fancy dinner at Lambeau Field recently, and everyone got their own little mini cobbler, warm out of the oven. So it's just that kind of, you know, feeling special that you get your own little thing. So that's the same thing for these parfaits. We're going to get everyone gets their own, so it feels kind of special. So let me tell you, easy, easy, easy. This is a make ahead. So we're just going to use a box of pudding. I'm using chocolate instant pudding. And you make this according to package directions. So 2 cups of milk, cold milk when you're making pudding. And I'm just going to mix that together until that pudding starts to get a little bit thick. I do have to tell you that, especially my daughter Ireland, I think that, you know, we get so caught up in our work lives and running around the kids to different things. Even you stay-at-home moms out there, you know, you work harder than a lot of us. And little things like the St. Patty's Day, do something special when they come home from school and have something like this. I think it's just really fun to do. They remember those little things, you know. My cookbook, I was trying to think of a saying to write in all of my cookbooks when I sign them out at events and things like that. And I wanted something special, you know. So I came up with the saying, cook up some memories, because that's what I sign in all of my cookbooks. Because I think that so many memories can be made in the kitchen. And the kids do remember. They will remember, believe it or not. Because I do. When my grandmother did something special, that little, you know, grasshopper parfait that they had on St. Patty's Day, or that special breakfast, or so many of my memories revolve around food and smells coming out of the kitchen, or the family dinners we have together. It's kind of my mission to make sure that those don't go away, those family dinners. You know, if you can't do it every night of the week, I get that. I totally get that. But if you can do it for sure Sunday night and maybe one or two other nights of the week, it's just so important. I always say magic happens at the dinner table, and let me tell you, it is a tradition in my house on St. Patty's Day that we are all together as a family. We normally don't go out because I know it's really fun to go out, but it's a little crazy out there, and we want the kids to feel part of our Irish heritage as well. So we do a family dinner at home with Irish music and corned beef and cabbage and all the fixins and the red potatoes, and then a special dessert. And I hope the kids will remember it and then carry on that tradition too. Okay, so pudding is done. What I want to do is make it a little more mousse-like. And the simplest way to do that is just to fold in some Cool Whip or frozen thawed whipped topping. Now, don't throw all of it in. I want to color some of it green. But this is going to take ordinary, just boxed pudding. And make it just fluffy and wonderful and yummy. Okay. And this pudding's a little thin right now, but it's going to set up in the refrigerator. It'll thicken. Okay, time to start layering. The only other thing I need to do is I want to get a little green in that food coloring. Now, as I said, if you couldn't find the mint flavored Oreos, you could do a little bit of peppermint extract into this pudding to give it a little bit of a mint flavor. The thing with that, though, is don't overdo it. That peppermint extract, let me tell you, it is strong stuff. So be careful about that. Same with the green food coloring. I kind of want a minty color. I don't want it So this is the rest of that whipped topping. I don't want, you go a little more green. I don't want it like a bright green. It's prettier that way. Okay, let's start layering. I want to talk about a couple of the different dishes that you can, do these parfaits in. You could certainly do it in a traditional, just an ice cream sundae glass. These are mini trifle dishes, which I picked up, and they're so cute. Aren't they cute? For adults, if you're doing an adult party, really fun to do these layered desserts in a martini or a wine glass, but just any kind of glass, and even a paper cup would work fine too. So we just start layering, and we're going to do basically a layer of some cookies. And you don't want to mix the layers together. That's the trick. A layer of this, what I call mousse, which is just that's what happens when you, and so you're just kind of dolloping on top. We can do some candies and more Oreos. And mint. Just kind of like lasagna, there's no certain way to do it, and depending on your glass size is about how many layers you're going to do. And then maybe some candies. Let's do even a full mint on top, and even you could garnish with a sprig of mint too. So there you go. It's my grasshopper parfaits. They're really fun and easy, and you can see all the layers in between. There you go, real cute St. Patty's Day or anytime dessert.